Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and this is There's a Girl in the Garden. So congratulations on surviving election week. I hope that you all were able to get through it with a box of chocolate covered cherries because that really helped me. Today I'm out here trying to button up my garden for fall, and there's just so many things that I need to address that I've been putting off because I just don't know what to do about them. So today's the day to make some decisions and take some risks. I've been dealing with issues in my garden, the biggest one being spider mites and harlequin bugs, which I've seen on some websites called wee harlequin bugs, which I think is really cute, even though I hate them with a mighty passion. And then I've also been dealing with some spacing issues. I didn't estimate some of these plants to get as big as they did, and they're growing on top of each other. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do about that. So that's what's going on here. Come on and I'll show you. So this bed is called the keyhole bed because of the way it's shaped. And this is spacing issue number 1. I tried getting rid of the harlequin bugs. I actually filmed footage of me trying to get rid of these, and I'll show you how that went now. Put this diatomaceous earth out last night around, it was probably 11 o'clock, because I wanted to make sure that I didn't harm any beneficial insects. But I mean, obviously it's still here. I don't know how that can be avoided unless it was to rain, and then it probably wouldn't do its job. And I'm out here inspecting these plants. I'm still seeing some of these bugs out here, so I'm just kind of trying to keep track of how long it actually takes before I don't see them anymore. So here we are on day 4, and they're still there. Hello. Oh. Hello. Are you a mutt? Anyway, I'm just thinking that this is not working out the way that let's see if it's alive. Yeah, I mean, all right, I don't think this is working. He's alive. All right, so here we are on day 5. Already I see 2 of these harlequin bugs. That one, hold on, where are you? I mean, crawling around without a care in the world. I gave it one final day to see if anyone would die on their own, and nothing doing. It's like they're completely unharmed by it. So that was this plant. I don't see any of those bugs on it now. No, I do. And there is a harlequin bug, 2. Great. The diatomaceous earth apparently didn't do anything. And I have other sprays. I have neem oil, which I was scared to use in the heat because I heard that it could burn your plants if you use it and then the sun comes out. So I didn't want to use that. I guess I could use it now since it's fall. But I'm going to cut everything back and throw away this foliage since it's infested with pests and also probably spider mites. Ooh! Ugh. And anyway, I'm gonna cut all this back and try to move them somewhere. Let's see what happens. So then lower in this bed is this one, which the wind snapped this off in the base. I think I showed you that in the garden tour last time. My plan of attack is to cut this back. This is already out of there. Go ahead and take this off too. And you can tell, like, the catmint, there's catmint in there, it got huge. These are daylilies, which I'm kind of sick of. The salvia is still looking great, but it's only hardy to zone 9, and we are zone 7B. I might try to hang on to it even though I feel like that's probably pushing nature's limits, but we'll see. I don't know, we'll see. It's pretty bright out, but isn't this beautiful? These petunias just kept going all summer with not as much supplemental water as they probably should have gotten, but they are just looking so gorgeous. I'll just give you an overhead view of this bed. Also dealing with some major spacing issues. There's my glorious monk's hood, which I've said this on my Instagram, but when I bought this plant, the tag said monk's, I thought it was monk's hood because there's no apostrophe, but surprise, it's monk's hood. Anyway, I'm in love with this plant. It's very tall. I'm 5'7". I have 4 of these cleums. 1, 2, and then 3, 4. Another one decimated in the wind and split at the base. I think what I want to do is move them back here. I have a black lace elderberry, but nothing here. I'm already questioning the spacing if they'll fit, because that black lace elderberry gets huge. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. One thing that I'm super happy that my husband and I did last year was plant this arborvitae hedge. Every other tree was planted late in the season last year, and then the taller ones were planted in the spring. So they're catching up, but I can't wait till they grow completely. Okay, it's getting hot, so I put my hair up. I'm gonna take off my vest and then I'm gonna get to work. So I'm starting down here, kind of on the west side of our house. You might recognize this clematis that I planted in a video. It grew, but it didn't flower, so we'll see what happens next year. Oh, and this is the lemony lace elderberry from Proven Winners that I love. Oh, this branch broke. I love it. These cleums got so big. They were like this when they were standing up, and there was one here, which I already cut back because it really got horribly knocked over. So the lemony lace wasn't getting enough sun, but I can see that it has new buds already. So that's really exciting. I think I'm gonna leave this here, but move these cleums up to the top of this bed over by the black lace elderberry. Okay. This is what it should look like. Oh wow. When I pulled it off of that orange hyssop, I can smell it. Just this wave of licorice scent washed over me. If you don't have orange hyssop, which is this plant right here, I highly recommend it. It smells delicious, and butterflies love it, and hummingbirds love it. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this back so I can get a lot of the weight off of it, and then hopefully when I move it, the energy will be sent into establishing a new root system instead of putting more energy into this green growth. I think that this plant is pretty much just broken all the way at the bottom, so let's just get some weight off of it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That whole thing just pulled right off, so. think we can salvage that. Okay, so once that split at the base, this is what we're left with. But I can still get a big root ball, and I'm not worried about it flushing back out. I think it'll be all right. This is a salvia that I honestly forgot was here. That must have struggled in the shade too. It looks pretty leggy. So that'll probably bounce back. That's exciting. All right, one more. This one's in a little bit better shape than those other two, but I'm still just trimming it down because it may have had spider mite damage. The leaves look a little yellow and stippled. So I'm taking off that. Okay, so I'm left with these 3 plants, and I'm gonna go cut back the other 2 cleums, and then we'll move them all together. I think I just broke this one at the base. I heard a crack. This is another example of the layering problem that I had this year. This is a phlox, and I pretty much forgot that it was here. And you can tell where the cleum was sitting over this catmint, it kind of suffered too. I'm looking at the leaves. They're also covered in aphids in November. Go figure. I guess that's a thing. Hi, Mom. It must be 75 degrees. It feels great. So this catmint was just sitting on top of this echinacea, and it was smothering it. Another spacing issue. I'm cutting these dead stems just to make it look nicer because it's still blooming. And I'll give this catmint a haircut while I'm at it. I've cut this catmint back several times this summer, and I find that it really doesn't matter. Just cut it back and it'll grow. It'll flush back out in no time. Obviously, we're ending the end of the season, so it might not flush back this time, but I'm just trying to give the echinacea a little room to breathe. There's an entire other echinacea right here. Okay, this looks much better. I just feel like the air circulation is already improved for these little plants. I'm gonna get this wet so that the dust doesn't fly up in my face. So let me spray it down with the hose first. This is what I was afraid of. These are the harlequin bugs. And I guess I must have blasted them off with the hose. Ugh. I'm really hopeful that their eggs don't harbor over in the dirt. Just going through and squishing what I see. I'm just gonna scrape up this top layer of dirt and get rid of it. Okay, so there is the 5th cleome all cut back, and now we will move them. if I move this salvia, we'll do one here, and then give it about the length of this shovel. I know it gets huge. We'll do one here. Here. So that's 3. So we'll do 3 white ones. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we'll do it a little bit further up because I know that this gets big. Next year, this black lace elderberry will be in its 2nd year. I don't know how big it will get. I know that they get something like 8 feet tall when they finally grow up, but we'll just have to see. If I have to move it next summer, no big deal. I think I'm going to move the salvia and the cleomes, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. I got the purple salvia up, and I have a fistful of biotone, and I got the first white cleome up. In the hole, biotone is a starter fertilizer that really helps with the root growth. And even though it's fall, I'm just trying to give them every chance to look nice for a while longer. Our first frost doesn't look like it's on the horizon within the next 10 days, but it's all a gamble. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna add some water to the hole and then plant the salvia and cover it up and water it again.
You're in there somewhere.
Hello. Get a backfill with some of this garden soil. So here we have the 3 white cleomes kind of surrounding the black lace elderberry. This one looks kind of droopy, but whenever you transplant a plant like that, it droops for a while. I moved it to Tura once and I thought it was totally dead, but it perked back up. So I watered them in really thoroughly, and I'll show you an update on my Instagram once it's perked back up. I got 3 out of the 5 cleomes planted, but I can't decide where I want to put the other 2. And I would hate to have to move them again in spring, although you never know, that might happen anyway. So I think for today, we're gonna stop there with moving these 3 cleomes. They look pretty good. And then I moved the purple salvia that was here and in this beautiful grass. We moved that right over here. And you can see the leaves are drooping on this as well. But again, I'm hopeful that it'll be fine and we'll get at least a couple of weeks of enjoyment out of it before the frost takes it. This bed is looking a little less wild because I cut back that catmint, which really was just taking over a lot. And of course the cleomes are gone. So I'm liking the way that it looks. And there is the salvia that we planted up at the top back there. Pretty pleased. Thank you so much for watching. I didn't quite get done everything that I wanted to get done today, but I got those 3 cleomes moved that were split horribly and cut everything back. So I'll call that a success. And again, if you follow me on Instagram, I will put up pictures of updates over the next few weeks just to show you what everything looks like once we get our first frost. Who knows when that'll be. It's literally about 75 degrees right now and it's November. So we'll see what happens. But thanks for watching and I will see you next week. Bye.